Good morning, students. In this section, we are going to see Economics Lesson 2, that is Globalization and Trade, Part 2. Students, before entering into the lesson, please note down all the points which is presented in this video. Then only you can revise and understand the continuity of the lesson. It will also help you to revise during the time of examination. In this section, we are going to see what is fair trade and then principles of fair trade, that World Trade Organization, and about positive and negative impacts of globalization and challenges of globalization. Okay, let's start our lesson. Fair trade practices and World Trade Organization. First, we will see what is fair trade. Fair trade is a way of doing business that aims to keep small farmers an active part of the world marketplace and aims to empower consumers to make purchases that support their values. So what is fair trade means is a trade between companies in developed country and producers in developing country. So it is a trade between companies which is present in developed countries and producers which is present in developing country, in which fair prices are paid to the producers. This is called fair trade. So fair trade is a way of doing business between the developing country and developed countries. What are the benefits we will get from this fair trade practices means raising and stabilizing the incomes of small scale farmers, farm workers and artisans. Because of this fair trade practices, the income will be raised for small scale farmers, farm workers and artisans. Next, more equitably distributing the economic gains, opportunities and risk associated with the production and sales of these goods. So, there is an equal supply of economic gains. Next, increasing the organizational and commercial capacities of producers groups. Next, promoting labor rights and the right workers to organize, promoting safe and sustainable farming method and working condition. So, because of this fair trade practices, many people get equal economic gains and they will motivated to produce more amount of agricultural products, and also increasing the organizational and commercial capacities of producers group. So, fair trade is about better prices, decent working conditions and fair terms of trade for farmers and workers. Next, principles of fair trade organization. So the principles which is present in this fair trade organization is creating opportunities for economically disadvantaged producers. So this fair trade organization will create opportunities to do their work for the people who were in poverty condition. Next, transparency and accountability. So, the perfect rate will be announced for their protection. Next, fair trading practices and payment of a fair price. Next, ensuring no child labor and forced labor. Then, commitment to non-discrimination, gender equity and freedom of association. So, under this fair trade organization, there is no discrimination among the peoples, providing capacity building and promoting fair buildings. So this fair trade organization will provide the building which is used to sell their products. Next, respect for the environment. And this fair trade organization will give the opportunity, the economic opportunity to the wanted people, and it will create the fair price for the product, and it will be accountability, and also it will develop their product, and it will create the environmental development. Next, GATT. GATT means General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. GATT was signed by 23 countries in 1947. India was one of the founder members of GATT. The Director General of GATT, that is Arthur Dunkel, came up with the draft final act known as Dunkel Draft was approved and signed. The primary purpose of this GATT was to increase international trade by reducing various tariffs. Tariff means the tax which is collected for import and export materials in the country. Then quotas and subsidies while maintaining meaningful regulations. This GATT was formed in 1947. It was a legal agreement between many countries. The main objectives of GATT was reduction of barriers to international trade, achieved through reduction of tariff barriers and quantitative restrictions. Tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. What is tariff barriers? These are taxes on certain imports. So already I told, tariff means it is a kind of tax which is collected for import and export materials in that country. So tariff barriers means these are taxes on certain imports. They raise the price of imported goods, making import less competitive. Non-tariff barriers. These involves rules and regulations which make trade more difficult. So in non-tariff barriers, they have to follow certain rules and regulations which make trade more difficult. The first round of GATT was conducted in Geneva. GATT rounds. There were total 8 rounds of negotiations between the participating countries. Negotiations means agreement. So there were total 8 rounds of agreements between the participating countries. The first 6 rounds were related to curtailing tariff rates. 7th round included the non-tariff obstacles. This 8th round known as Uruguay round. Uruguay is nothing but it is a name of the place which is present in South America. Next, WTO. WTO means World Trade Organization. The signing of the final act of Uruguay round by member nations of GATT in April 1994 paved the way for setting up of the WTO, that is World Trade Organization. An agreement to this effect was signed by 104 members. The WTO agreement came into force from January 1, 1995. So, after the 8th round, the WTO was formed. Facts about WTO. It is located in Geneva in Switzerland. It is established was 1st January 1995. It was created in the Uruguay round negotiations. The members of this WTO was General 4 Deputy Director General and other 600 official staff from around 80 member countries. The purpose of this WTO is regulation of international trade. The official languages are English, French and Spanish. Next, objectives of WTO. To set and enforce rules for international trade. So, under this WTO, they will enforce certain rules for international trade. Then, to provide a forum for negotiating and monitoring further trade liberalization. This WTO resolve trade disputes among the countries. It will introduction at the sustainable development and environment can go together. So this WTO will involve for the development of environment to ensure that developing countries secure a better share for growth in world trade, to increase the transparency of decision making process, to ensure full employment and broad increase in effective demands. So these are the objectives of WTO. So under this WTO, they will give certain rules and regulations for the international trade. They will resolve the trade disputes between the countries, and also they will analyze, secure a better share of growth in world trade, and also they will take caring of the environmental development, and also to ensure full employment and broad increase in effective demand. Next, trade related aspects of intellectual property right. It is also called TRIPS. Intellectual property rights may be defined as information with a commercial value. Under TRIPS, patent shall be available for any invention, whether products or process in all fields of industrial technologies. So, under this TRIPS, the new inventions will be spread all over the world. TRIPS agreement covers 7 areas of intellectual property rights. This property rights will give creation. That creation will be applicable to all the fields, and that application should be in a productive manner. Then we will get a successful business. Next, positive impact of globalization. A better economy introduces rapid development of the capital market. So, in globalization will introduce a rapid development of the capital market. Standard of living has increased. Globalization rapidly increased better trade so that more people are employed. So, because of this globalization method, many people get employment opportunities. Introduce new technologies and new scientific research patterns. Globalization increasing the GDP of the country. It helps to increase in free flow of goods and also to increase foreign direct investment. So this globalization will create more employment opportunities for the people. It introduces the new technology and new scientific research patterns. It will also increase the GDP of a country. It helps to increase in free flows of goods and also to increase foreign direct investment. Next, negative impact. What are the negative things happens because of this globalization means? Too much flow of capital among us countries introduces unfair and immoral distributors of income. So, too much of profit will create the unfair distribution of products or unfair distribution of profit to the people. Another fear is losing national integrity because of too much exchange of trade. Independent domestic policies are lost. So, this globalization will also create the losing national integrity. Rapid growth of the economy has required a major infrastructure and resource extraction. This increases negative ecological and social cost. So everyone wants to become a first place. So because of this attitude, many industries were exploit the resources which is present in the earth, which is present in the country. So the rapid growth of the economy has required a major infrastructure and resources. So for the development of industries, that industry need too much of resources, and also they need the better infrastructure. Because of that need, they will extract the minerals which is present in that place. So it is a big negative impact of that globalization. Rapidly increases in exploitation of natural resources to earn foreign exchange. So rapidly they will take the resources in that places, means the resources is completely exploited. These are the major negative impacts of globalization. Next, challenges of globalization. The benefits of globalization extend to all countries. That will not happen automatically. So the benefits of globalization will not extend to all the countries. They have to take some efforts to spread that benefits to all the countries. It will not happen automatically. That is the biggest challenge of globalization. Next, the fear that globalization leads to instability in the developing world. So globalization will lead to instability in the developing world. So they have to make the stability of the rules and regulations. The industrial world that increased global competition will lead in race to the bottom in wage, labor rights and employment practices. So the race between the countries will lead to the race to the bottom in wage, labor right and employment practice. So because of this race, the industrialist peoples will give more work to the peoples. Next, it leads to global imbalance. This globalization has led to an increase in activities such as child labor and slavery. So, because of the attitude of becoming first place, many industries will induce the child labor and slavery. The main challenges of globalization, they have to stop the child labor and slavery. People started consuming more junk food. This caused the degradation of health and spread of diseases. Next, globalization has led to environmental degradation. So, they're getting exploited, they're getting the minerals from the earth. It leads to environmental degradation. So, these are the main challenges of globalization. Okay students, I hope you all understood this lesson. Here I gave some evaluation. Try to answer this question. Write the positive and negative impacts of globalization. What are the challenges of globalization? What is meant by fair trade practices? Differentiate tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. Thank you students.